Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Traders Workshop. Nice to have you guys in. We're going to dig in tonight and talk about some of the trades that we've seen here over the last couple of days, maybe even go back to last week and pick some off for you. My name is Edwin Preston, aka EP. We got Joe Rios on board. Joe, I think I can hear you in the background
Yes,
there.
sir. I'm here. Hello, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Good, and you?
You have anything exciting after the room today?
No, just relax and get ready for tomorrow.
Well, we're definitely going to be talking about that, and I've got probably about 6 different slides that I want to share with everybody today.
Okay.
And I also have got some others that have been sent to me from some of the traders. One of
Good.
which that's sleeping right now because he's on the other side of the planet. And another one that is here that's actually in the room today that we're going to unhook his mic and get him talking. That would be Rick. So thanks, Rick, for sending us your trades. For the rest of
All
you
right.
guys, when you guys have trades, you're following me or you're doing them on your own time. Just take a screenshot of it, win, lose, or draw. Send it to us. This is the place where we really want to help you guys out, so you can learn from your mistakes and learn from your gains and learn how to hopefully make some more gains on top of what you're already doing. This is where we're going to make the tweaks. Think of this as the place where you kind of bring the car into the shop for some of those tweaks. So, real quick, I'm just going to take 5 minutes. I know we have some new eyeballs in the room. So, for purposes of the new folks, need to put your eyeballs on this right here. This is pretty much the core of what you're going to see Joe and I showcase in the room. Whatever the market is, it could be stocks, it could be commodities, it can be cryptos, ETFs. It doesn't matter. These are dynamic levels, and these levels help us understand where the bull and bear zones are, and it also helps us understand where the market has been and where it might be going. So just get to know these levels well. You're going to see them on all the charts that I put up on the screen here tonight. And most importantly, those green levels in the middle, because those would be identified as where the bull territory starts and where the bear territory starts. And then the red would be critical areas. We actually saw, I think it was Monday, we had a lot of markets that were above and beyond the critical resistance levels. We had a few that tested today. And this really helps us with our trading. So very, very important for you to know how to work with that. Here's the markets that you're going to see us talk about on any given day inside of the trade lab. Today I was involved in some S&P, the Dow. We looked at some of the currencies. I don't think we got into anything today. We had a Japanese yen, I think it was yesterday. We got into a bond trade, just missed a target by a tick before we tested the first level of support. Had a nice trade. In fact, trade of the day for me in the lab session was gold, and got beat up on crude oil. I tried chasing crude one time before, one time during the report that came out at 10:30, which was really the only report that we had today on this 8th day of July. But this is basically the basket that we're going to look at any given time. Just thought it was important for you guys to get some clarity on that. So really, when you look at the before and after shot here, everything on the left, just again, this is for everybody that's new coming in and checking out what quant trading is all about. It's very important for us to know, since we're using both technical and fundamental information, where bull and bear territories start, because that's going to help us with our entries and our exits. And of course, those last three words, when, where, and why, well, you're going to learn that a little bit tonight, and you're going to learn a lot about that as you take some participation in our trade lab sessions that begin at 9:15 Eastern time and go up till about 11:30. Just depends on how our activity is and how much time we need to finish up some trades and some teaching. So with that, Joe, any comments from your corner before I start showcasing some of my trades?
No, go ahead. And towards the end, I'll just need a few minutes to update on, how the swing trading with stocks is doing, how it's going, and a little bit about the strategy behind it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Okay. We'll definitely make time for that, and just give me a second to pull up my trades for today I want to share with the crowd. So let's see, I've got one from the 6th, the 7th, 3 from the 7th, 4 from the 7th, and then one from today that I'm going to share. So let's just go ahead and start with this one. This is from today. This was a trade that started, actually, it was when I left you guys. I transitioned over to Joe this morning. For those of you that took that Dow short that I talked about, it was the last trade I put on. This was a turbo scalp trade. This was roughly about 10:45 this morning. You can see the qualifier. So, what you guys have, I've worked with Bollinger Bands for quite a long time. I like showing the Bollinger Bands because lots of you guys have your own personal indicator that you like. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever it is, throw it on top of the levels. It's kind of like the levels are the pasta, and whatever sauce you like to work with, put the sauce on, and together you can make some serious magic. I guess I'm kind of getting hungry thinking about it from that perspective. But the qualification for me with this method that I use is looking for a close outside of the lower band. As I mentioned earlier, it's important to know what these levels are because what is this indicating over here? This is the bear level, right? So the market's coming down and testing. Do I have to have the band? No. I mean, I used to trade with, for those members that remember the original Gnostic trading strategy, I would actually trade on a 5-minute bar or candle. I think I was using bars. And I would just look for a 5 accelerator. Now this actually is a 1-minute, and this is a 3 accelerator. And the accelerators, let's talk about those for a second. These numbers that you see located at the top of the bars, these are helping us understand if there's momentum, a lack thereof, a change thereof, or grand amount of it. So 5s are going to be an indication of momentum or acceleration coming into the market. A 3 is neutral. And so this one right here, this was a 3. This was neutral. Market never went anywhere. I can't see behind my flag, but it looks like it's a 5. The market started to slip down. Then there was a 1 in here. That's a sign of an imminent change. And that change definitely came about right here. Then here comes the 5 again, showing me a sign of momentum coming back in, followed by a few 3s, and you can see the momentum picking up. And the net result of this trade, I believe I did a 5 lot. I'll actually go to my live chart here in a minute. And what I did is I actually was looking for a first profit target, which was 25% of the way down into the zone. So when you guys see me put a fib ruler on these charts in between the green and the yellow, I'm able to identify 25, 50, 75% of the way down. And I like to use those for profit targets. By the way, guys, house rules here, ask questions at any time. Send in your questions. If anything is confusing, fuzzy, gray, we're going to stop and answer those up. I can share with you guys right now. I love talking. It's hard to shut me up once you wind me up, but I do want you guys to talk, and I do want you guys to ask questions, because if I don't see the participation come in, I burn out, I'll stop, and then the show is going to be over, and then everyone's all pissed off, and you go home, and then nobody's happy. So please ask questions. Please ask us anything that doesn't make sense, and then also share some stuff with us too. Like, share with us what's working. What are you finding that's working best for you? Is it the box trade? Is it the turbo scalp? Is it the swing trading? Give us some feedback on what Joe's been providing for you guys as of late with the stock trade tips that he's given you guys the last 15 to 30 minutes of the session now. So on this trade, guys, I had 3 exits. The first exit was right here at 25. Next one was 50% of the way down. I want you to take a look at the time, because prime time's over right here at 11 o'clock. Now I'm just going to put a different color on here. Let's go with red. Here's 11 o'clock. So there's the end of prime time. The market actually faded after the prime time. This is kind of like a delayed fade. And this is something we've seen a lot when the market's really, choppy up there in the neutral. It takes like another 30 minutes for it to finally break one way or the other. In this case, it was breaking down. And so I took 25, a target at the 25. I took half of my contracts off. I believe I had 7. I took 4 off here. That left me with 3. I took 2 off here at the 50% mark, and I had an option. I could have taken my last one off. So that's the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Truth be told, guys, I was trying to hold on to this trade and make it a swing trade like I did yesterday when I put my trade on into the close yesterday. I held on to that short until this morning, and I finally got stopped out of my last unit. So when I only had one left, rather than taking it off here, I was actually looking for it to go continue down to the critical support, if not, go short into tomorrow. But it came back up. And so what I did is I had a trailing stop. Now, originally I had a trailing stop using the lazy river, which is following this SMA, which is a simple moving average. I was just trailing this. When I saw that we reached the bottom, it was at that point that I said, okay, well, I'm definitely not going to keep my break-even stop in. I'm going to go lock in profit halfway down. If it comes back up, I'll take the profit. I'll be happy with it. Maybe I'll go do some trading later in the afternoon. So that was my thinking. I thought it'd be important for you guys to hear that out loud. Well, the market did come back up. It came back up and tested halfway. And if you guys know the net result of where the Dow, that's what we're looking at, it went much higher. It ended up later in the afternoon testing. In fact, I think the S&P tested the first level of resistance. So with that, nice little trade on the micro Dow. Again, I did 7 lots here. I believe the original risk was like around $25 per. So net, that's what $1.75 of risk. If you got a $2,500 account, risking 1%, you're able to do 1 lot here and enjoy making some money on this trade. So again, that's a turbo scalp trade that came in at the end of the lab today. Anybody have any questions on that? Comments? Joe, I'll look over the group here. Anything from your side? Any take on that?
No, all good.
All right. Anybody here that actually participated in that trade? I'd be curious to find out. I don't see anybody that is popping. And let's make sure everybody's good. Are we good on the audio? Because you guys are awfully quiet. Okay, everybody that's actually attentive and actually is participating, eyeballs on the screen, type in 777. Let's make sure we're all good here. Come on, guys. Told you guys how I felt about it. If you guys aren't participating, I'm going to call it quits. I'll leave. You'll be upset. I'll go outside and start skating with my 15-year-old son. I just got Mason a new ramp, Joe.
Oh, nice.
He got a ramp and he got a rail, if you know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
Basically 2 pieces of equipment that I will freak out every day hoping he doesn't crack his head open. All right, Dwayne is asking, where was your original stop? Great question. Thanks for asking, Mr. Dwayne. Okay, so we got a couple options here. Usually I like to just use the SMA, okay? I like to use the simple moving average as the stop and place it a few ticks up above that. But since you're so close to a level, use some logic. Those levels are your best friend as long as they're not too far away. So my original stop would have been using this level up here and wait. Now, as soon as I get the profit target, boom, that's when I'm going to start trailing, okay? And I'm going to start using that lazy river, trail stop, come on down. You're the next contestant on the turbo scalp is right. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Able to trail. Now I'm hitting the bottom and I'm not taking profits because I only have 1 left. And that's when I'm going to go put my stop at the 50% marker. Make sense, Dwayne? Come on, Dwayne, talk to me. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Next trade is going to be, let's close this guy up. And we'll go over to trade from 7/6. That would be Monday. And I think this might be the trade I was referencing earlier. Okay. Let me get rid of the drawings here. All right, so this was another scalp trade. This took place, oh, this is an afternoon trade. This took place in the last hour and a half. So another prime time that I like to talk about is the last hour and a half for the stock indices. And let me just confirm that that's what this was. Yeah, this was the Dow. I can't see the symbol, but I can see the price, and I know that that's the price of a Dow. So this is a micro Dow. You can see I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I did 10 of these. 5 minutes into the prime time, the market was coming back up, crossing over the SMA, qualifying at the SMA. Remember, if you have a trend following trade, again, a trend following trade, You got the SMA and you got the upper band for qualifiers. If it's a counter trend trade, a counter trend, you are not going to use the SMA. You are going to use only the bottom band, and you're waiting for that market to go lower. In this example, it did not. Okay, so what did I use? Well, in fact, this is great stemming off of the question that was just asked by Dwayne, like where do you place your stop? In this case, I'm using that bottom band, except for, what do I have right below it? I have a level. So I was actually using the level as my protective stop. And, adjust your risk. Yes, there's more risk. That means you trade less. Okay, that means you have to trade less micros. And of course, we all like to trade micros. Why? One word, leverage. The number that you can trade is fantastic, especially for trailing in and out of your trades. Here's an example. If I had to use the lower band, I would have been stopped out here. Using that level, love that level. I'm going to allow this market to come down and kiss off that level. It never did. But in this example, I bought 10 of them, waiting for the market to go higher. It actually also qualified here, but never went higher. So if you're waiting for an upper band commitment, guess what? Closed higher here, never went higher. So failure to go higher, failure to go higher, and then on or above right there. That's where it finally committed. And right there would have been the entry, which is a little bit higher from my original entry. So the only difference is that, I put this on at 2:35. It finally started cooking at 3:35, an hour later. I had to watch it for an hour before I finally started getting movement, and it went up here. And this would be, looks like about 50% of the way up into the bull zone. And then I started taking more off, and the reason why is because, guys, I only got 15 minutes left until the market's closing. I'm starting to see it peak some more and just starting to scale out. So I had 10, scaled out of 3, that left me with 7, scaled out of another 3, that left me with 4, and then here we go. I scaled out of 3 of my last 4 that I had left, that left me with 1. And now you've got the stock market closing in New York, and of course commodities stay open longer, which is cool, but I was comfortable just taking profit and then expecting the wind to kind of come out of the sail. As you can see, the box that I have here, this green outline, that's the outlining the prime time. That's 4 o'clock. That's the opening, or that's the closing bell. Market's starting to come off, and I took the last one off. So didn't have to trade way back here, but I don't want to miss a trade if I have a great opportunity. And here's a great example of a turbo scalp trade. One trade in the last hour and a half of trading from Monday. And again, that is another turbo scalp trade. Joe, I'm going to let you take this one. Another one coming in from Dwayne. Where do I get the market analyzer?
Where does he get? He has the market. He should have the market analyzer. That's from Dwayne.
That's from Dwayne.
Dwayne, send me an email. You should have it. If not, I'll send you a workspace that'll have it.
Yeah, and I'll help you here, Dwayne. Here's what you do. You go to File, New, and there it is, Market Analyzer. Now, I think what you're asking is how do I get the RQ Tech? Because if I do this,
right,
that's an empty Market Analyzer. That's no bueno. What you want is this one. This is a Market Analyzer filled with Joe's Tech, which we call the RQ Tech. So I think that's what you want, right, Dwayne? And if that is what you want, Joe will hook you up with the goods. As a member, you should definitely have that on board. That's a lifeline. That's a major artery right there.
Huge. That's what by the way, that's like that's like my best tool for the stock swing trading strategy.
Yeah. Hey, Dwayne, I'm going to send you my email for the other stuff you're asking for.
You can send them the workspace.
Yeah. I can send you my workspace. So Dwayne, shoot me an email. It's coming at you right now. Tell me what you need, and I will hook you up, my friend. Okay. Anybody else that needs it, it's eptradecoach@gmail.com. All right, Cassie, what's happening? So how many ticks below the lower Bollinger Band did you set your stop? We'll see. If you're asking about this trade still, my stop was actually below the level. I had it just a few ticks below the bull level, knowing that this one was probably going to come down and test. I could have done more units. I did less. I think I was going to do 15 of them, but because I placed a stop lower, that applied more risk, and so I did less, and I traded a 10 lot here versus a 15 lot. So hopefully that helps you out. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, Cassie, just your last comment there, giving it room to run. I'll tell you what, in the last hour, give yourself a little bit more expansion room. Like let the market do a little bit more bumping, a little bit more of an elastic pullback, especially when it's just been sideways. It's most likely. Think about it this way. Think about how many people want to buy a dip. We're in a bull zone. Okay. So if we're in a bull zone for an hour, that's like an eternity, and it's 25% of the way up. If it started coming off, if it started coming down here, don't freak out about it. That does not mean a pile of bears are getting in. The bears are not piling in. What's happening here are people are either giving up on it. You have a lot of neophytes that don't have levels and just believe whatever their indicators are that they have that, well, hey, this is the beginning of a short trend. No, there's going to be a lot of bulls that bounce and buy at a lower price and are just waiting for it to zing back up. So give it a little bit more room. Don't do that in the first hour, but be comfortable doing that in the last hour. That's my 2 cents. All right, we're going to go to the next trade. Let's close that one out and let's go to this one. This is from 7/7. So that would be what, Tuesday? Yeah, yesterday. Surprise, another turbo scalp trade. This was in the lab. This was at 10:30. I know a number of you guys actually had this one with me. This was the Dow. The reason why I chose this one, first and foremost, this yellow line over here, this is the end of prime time. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention for the Trade Lab session. I wanted to show this one because look at the location. This was an entry I did selling trend following trade, but a short far down into the zone, and very profitable trade. I mean, nice, not only down to the first level, but the next level down. So what was really attractive for me here was the risk. Getting short here. Of course, the circle is the circle around the bar. That's the qualifier. I'm looking for the market to go a little bit shorter, a little bit lower. That's where my entry was, and my stop is right back up here. And I'm calculating that, thinking, okay, well, you know what? The risk isn't all that bad. It's affordable. I can do 5 lots here. I was probably risking 1, maybe 1.5% of my equity on this trade. And I actually elected not to take profits. I elected not to take profits here, and I let it fall even further down to the next level, which actually was to my benefit that we went down there. Look at the kiss. Just went right down there and kissed that level. Can't make this up, guys. That's why these levels are really that damn good. They really are. And then the market just bounced off it. Now, after I hit that target, I took 3 of my 5 off. That left me with 2, and I went break even, so I wouldn't take a loss, and that's what happened here. I covered the remaining 2. And you can see the market after prime time going higher. Okay. So pretty simple. Nothing more to talk about there. If you guys have any questions on that one, I'll come back to it. Let's go to one more here. And then I'm going to start showing off some other trades from the crowd, from the members. Okay, this is another one. This is what market was this? This looks like this 3160. Oh, mini S&P, micro S&P. This was from yesterday, and this was early. This was at 9:45 or 15 minutes into the session. Stock market opened up. I want you guys to take note of the stock market, what it's doing in that first 5 minutes, actually the first 10 minutes, just chopping around, chopping in between a neutral trade zone, testing back up into the bear, going down into bear zone 2, back up into bear zone 1, and starting to go counter. This is a counter trend move. Think about it. We're in a bear zone, and the market's going back up towards the bear level. That's a counter trend maneuver. So the qualification, you can see the circle here. The qualification was the bar that closed outside the band. The market went a little bit higher. I got in. I did 7 units, 7 micros. The stop, the protective stop, is going to be down below the SMA. And what do we have? We have a level. Use the level. So trail, 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 or I should just say stop, 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 waiting for a target. And the target that I'm waiting for is a target that was, since I was pretty much at the 50% spot in the zone, I'm waiting for the market to go up to the 25% spot, 25 off the top or 75 from the bottom, however you want to look at that. And I got it. So I got the first target here, long from 59.25, out at 63, took 4 of my 7 off. I always round up. That left me with 3 lots left. I then took my stop, and at that point, I went break even. So here's where my stop's going to be. And I'm going to wait for the SMA to pass me up, and I'm just going to trail. Trail, 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 trail. Okay? Well, meanwhile, I've got 3 units left. I take 1 of those 3 off here. I take another one off at the next level. And then the last one, the market's coming down, and that's where I got stopped out. I think I tucked my stop right up underneath the level at that point in time. And that's where it covered. So great counter trend trade on the S&P. And here's something else I want to bring to your guys' attention. And Joe, why don't you talk about this for a minute? Take a look when I got into this trade, what the sentiment was. The sentiment was red, and that's a risk off sentiment. And I was actually going against that. Remember, risk off, you want to be looking for a short opportunity. So when I went into this trade, I was actually trading lighter. I had 7 units. I know I can trade more than that, but I went in lighter saying, well, this is the open. It's the first 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, the market's starting to take direction here. And I wanted to take a shot on it. Now, if you guys are in the trade lab today, I got stopped out on the first one that I tried doing that with and then made money on the second one. So, don't be shy in taking a counter trend trade. Yes, it's higher risk, trade less number of contracts. Joe, you want to talk about the DMS down at the bottom?
Yeah, sure. The DMS in the bottom is a histogram, and it's either going to give you risk off, risk on, mixed markets, or conflict in the markets. So red is risk off, yellow is mixed markets, green is risk on, and blue is conflict. So depending if you're in risk on, risk off, or conflict, you're going to choose different asset classes, and you're going to anticipate whether the institutions are in play or not.
Very good. All right. Any questions on that one, guys? I'm just kind of looking over the Q&A, making sure I'm not missing out on anybody. I think we're good. All right. So we're halfway in. And what I'm going to do now is I probably have a few more I can showcase, and I can definitely go to some live markets right now. We could go check out the APAC session if we wanted to. But what I want to do is I'm going to go to let's go to Rick first, because Rick is here, and then if I have time, I'll show Nolan's trade. Nolan's out of Spain. Rick, I'm going to turn your mic on. Just give me a second to find you here in the room. And let's see, where is he? There he is. Hello, Rick. Self-muted. Mute. Okay, so send unmute. There you go. Hi, Rick.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. So tell everybody city and state, man. Where do you live?
San Diego, California.
San Diego. Good spot, man. Love San Diego. Just south of me on the 5 freeway. So let's see. Rick, how long you been a member?
2 months. I'm new. 2 months.
Still
kind of a newbie. Yeah. Yeah.
And why'd you choose Rios Quant? What was it about this tech that caught your eye?
Well, I was recommended, and I participated in the room for a while, and I made that decision where I need to step up, purchase the package, and it was a decision that I'm so glad I did, because the trading I'm doing now is completely different than what I used to do, and it's working out. I'm very happy.
Super cool. So I just pulled up one or two charts that you sent to me, and thank you very much for providing all the detail. Guys, when you send them to me, do it just like this. This is awesome. Only other thing I would ask for is just like put your name on it so everybody can see your name. It's all good though. So why don't you take us through, like, talk to us about why you chose this one, why you chose a trade, what was going through your brain when you put this one on?
Yeah, this was a box trade this morning. Made the entry on the blue candle, and the entry was kind of high in zone 1. So I didn't take profit at the level. I chose to go to the next zone to take profits.
Yeah, you can see that, man. You took it right up to the top. That's awesome.
Yeah, it worked out.
So your entry is right here. It looks like this. I'm just going down here. This was at 9:30 Eastern, so right out of the gate. Oh, I remember this too. I remember looking at the Canadian and the Euro and realizing that I just missed these markets. I'm glad that you got them, and I know you took these because I'm going back in memory lane when we built your basket of markets to trade. We did a coaching session. And I think the micro euro is one of the ones that we definitely said was in your basket.
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it was one of the leading currencies, wasn't it? The CAD and the euro this morning.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The box trade with the analyzer, the complete package with the sentiment, it all works together, and you just gotta read it and understand it and use it. So it works. It really works.
I love that. That's great stuff, man. And you know what? You're a great example of somebody that's done other trading, but you're able to apply the logic. I mean, there's no holy grail out there, right? And the thing that I love about what we're doing is, 50% of it is technical. And obviously all the levels that we're talking about, the DMS that Joe just talked about, and then the other 50% is fundamental, right? And when I say fundamental, I'm talking logic, and the logic that you just referenced there, talking about the time, looking for the breakout, looking for the channel. I love how I didn't hear you say it, maybe I just didn't catch it, but talk to us about what's happening when we're seeing the candles turn yellow to blue.
Well, that's it's a change of how would you say it's a change of momentum.
Yep.
Changes momentum. So the candles are neutral in the yellow, and then when they go to blue, they get bullish, and that's a surge. Well, I look at it as a surge in momentum.
Love it. And then I'm going to get Joe involved in this one. Joe, do you see what he put up on the screen over here? I just circled it.
Yep, I sure do.
Guys, he's
Great.
connecting the dots. That logic I just talked about, he is looking at the sentiment, and the sentiment is telling him based on logic. And I actually think I have my tool there it is right there. He's able to, in fact, I'll just kind of do this on the fly. Euro currency. Let's just take out, this is the stuff I had from today. I mean, your sentiment is spot on. You got mixed sentiment. Look up here, guys. Mixed. Rick is looking to trade gold, crude, gas, or currencies. And since it's yellow, in either direction. So he's looking to see what's leading and lagging. And I remember very well the euro being a leader. So you've got that working for you. Let's just kind of start from scratch here. So you got a leading currency. The RQ Tech, I don't remember what it was, but do you recall what the RQ Tech was showing, Rick?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Well, I'll just
I do.
Do you, Joe?
Because I remember you saying in the room early on that the dollar was tanking. Wasn't that you?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Yep. So it had to be rallying. It had to be red or green.
The dollar's tanking. The euro, which is about 63% of the dollar index, has got to go in the opposite direction.
That's right. Well, check this out. It's a trend following trade. He's buying in the bull zone. He's got that working for him. Rick, your location. You're at the beginning of the bull zone. Bull zone 1, a little bit up above it, but still a great location. And look at the time that he's putting this trade on, guys. right at the stock market opening. So you got volume coming in. I mean, dude, you couldn't have done any better. This is a high probability trade. You did a total of 3 lots. You scaled out at each level, and you let the last one run, which, I mean, if we didn't have the quarantine, man, I'd give you a big hug. You did this one fantastic. This is like picture perfect, man. I love it. And I was actually frustrated that I missed this trade today. I can't catch them all, but I'm certainly happy that you caught this one. So bravo, man. Great job on that one.
No, I gotta thank you guys. Being in the room and the teaching, the coaching you do, it's working out. It's just awesome.
Sweet.
Having a great time.
Cool, man. You got one more here. So why don't you take us through this one? I think this might have been you following my footsteps if it was from today. Maybe not. Gold? Micro gold?
Gold, yeah. So the first 2 trades I did were OBOS trades.
Mm-hmm.
One worked out, one didn't. The first one didn't work out. I was not near the level, but I took a chance.
Yep.
Didn't work out. Stuck with it. Took a second OBOS trade near the critical level. Okay. And that worked out well. And then the last trade there was a trading room trade I did on your call out, and that worked out great too.
Sweet. I'm going to actually just comment. Dennis, you had actually made a note there that Rick was trading on a 5-minute on that last chart. That's because it was a box template. So for the box trade template, we do those on 5 minutes, and with the turbo scalp templates, we do those on 1 minute. Just make sure that you're all square on that. So yeah, Rick, this is great, man. Words of advice here. So you've got the OBOS signal up here, and just look at the location. You're below 50% of the way in the zone, and I know I often say that I'm not a fan of those. I like to look for a retracement off the top, or think of it like this. Think of like 80-20, and here's what I mean by that. If we're 80% of the way up, or 20% of the way up, okay, and you can get a trade-off underneath that or underneath the top. Those are great areas. Here's how it works. If you're look where the market was right here. The market right here is at about 20% of the way up. If you start getting a red dot here, put your sell stop underneath the level. This is where you're going to want to, hey, you're kind of like saying to the market, hey, come down here, prove to me that you're going to go back into the neutral, then get short and go try to catch the other level, okay? And just like 80%, when we're 80%, I mean, check it out. This is the one you made money on. We're 80% of the way up. You get those retracements. Okay, now the market's probably getting out of breath. Let's go ahead and take it for a run back down to the SMA, if not lower. Looks like you actually decided not the first time. Well, actually, looks like you didn't decide the first time, but the second time you looked to start taking profits back down below the SMA. And then you started taking profits again. It looks like when we were about 25% off that bottom. And I'm guessing this is where you started to put a break even in. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's an entry. This is an entry over here.
Yeah, this is an entry there. And then.
Yeah, I see your new entry. Cool. So this was an entry based off of the simple moving average. And this is a trend following trade. So that does qualify. And kudos to you, man, taking that one just like the euro right up to the top. That's awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, good, man. Any questions for us? Thanks for sharing all the good stuff that you threw out there. I love you sharing the love.
Yeah. No, being in the room really helps the learning curve. And you gotta do it. You gotta practice and review what you traded, and it will come to you like it's coming to me.
And you, I'm going to say, I remember 2 months back you attending just about every workshop, watching just about every video we have archived, and of course the last thing, which is the first thing you said, attending the trade room sessions. I mean, a lot of people think, I hate when people come into the trade room and they're just there to see trades. It's really a learning ground, guys. I mean, I'm trying to just get you guys to learn by doing. So I think you pretty much swallowed it all up, and that's obviously why you've been a quick learner and having obviously some success. So anything else in there that I didn't mention, or does that sound like about the right recipe?
Yes, it is. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it, my man. Thank you, Rick from San Diego, just south of me here in Southern California. Great to have Rick coming in and sharing some trades with you guys. So I'm going to pull up another one. This is from Nolan, and Nolan actually sent me an email along with this trade he sent. And I thought I'd share that email with you. Since I am recording this, I told Nolan I'd record it and give him a copy of this. So just let me see if I can make this a little bit larger for you guys to see. That's a little too large. There we go. That should be good right there. So Nolan's been, I don't know, Joe, Nolan started with us like what, 5, 6, 7 years back? Kind of went
Probably.
Yeah, he went MIA for a while.
Yeah.
I think your email or Tim reaching out to him in emails, we were able to get him to kind of climb back in. He heard I was back at it and joined forces and did a coaching session with him, got him all dialed in with his game plan, his trade plan. And guys, I wanted to share this email with you that he sent me just a few hours ago because he can't be here to explain it. He's out of Spain. I think I want to say Barcelona. Is it Barcelona or Madrid? I can't remember. But let's just talk about what he's got here. This is a 5 gold play for the London session. He trades the London session a lot. Box is green for a win, not because it's a long trade. I'm running 10 tick stop loss with 20 tick targets. So he's doing a 2-for-1 risk reward ratio strategy. When I'm feeling more confident, I will be running 2 contracts, but for now, first contract will still be the 2-for-1 rule and so on. Okay, so I'll just scroll down here and you see the box that he put here. So he's got a box. I can see the time down below. Oh, this is great. So prime time for the London session, guys. He's got the line here. See this line? This is the prime time session. So 2 o'clock, I've got Nolan looking at his basket of markets, and he's looking for leaders. And just like Rick was sharing, as the candles turn from yellow to blue, this is Joe's. Joe, why don't you bring this up? Talk to us about what's happening when we go yellow to blue. What's the indicator called, and what's happening there?
Well, that's part of the RQ channel. So when it goes blue, from yellow to blue, it broke out. When it goes from yellow to purple, then it broke down. So it's a little breakout. And in this case, it's happening right at the bull line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right in sync with the channel is right in sync with the bull. That's a beautiful
and
thing.
So to bring back one of Rick's comments, on momentum, that's what happens when you have breakouts. Usually, you catch a momentum move.
Fantastic. So guys, also referred to as the RQ navigator, navigating yellow to blue, strength coming in, neutral is yellow. As Joe said, purple is going to be weakness. With the box trade strategy, we only buy in the bull, we only sell in the bear. Okay, so he's got his box, he's waiting for a color change, he's got his channel break, and it looks like he took this one right up to the top and had a nice trade there. So great. I'll tell you what, the box trade is the easiest thing that we have to follow. It's a 5-minute bar. In fact, this is probably a good time for me to just kind of go back over to let's go over to the S&P here. Watch this. Okay, so this is a live market. This is the S&P. And I'm going to put up on the screen here the prime time for the morning for the U.S. That's going to be 8 to 11. So right there. Okay, so what we're looking for, when I say it's the easiest strategy we have, is we're looking in between those yellow lines there. We're looking for a break above channels, the blue channels, to buy. Now, as I said earlier, we don't buy in the bear. So the market's going into the neutral. Now it's up here and there's no channels. Channel is actually trying to catch up to the market. Now the market's coming down. So it's easy for me to look at today's prime time session and say, guess what? There was no buying opportunities on the S&P today with the box strategy from 8 to 11. There was no shorts. We're actually cutting through one channel. I like working when the channels are together. Okay, that's my personal preference. You're waiting for the yellow to turn purple. That never happened. So guys, no trades today. in the primetime session today. Now, interesting enough, that last hour and a half is going to be from 1430, which is right over here. Let's look to the right of what's going on now. Okay, so here's the close. This is the close, the last hour and a half of the day when I look for another opportunity. We're in the bear territory. We never crossed down below. Now we're coming up and we're crossing through. And Joe, I know you like to take these trades. My personal preference is not, but that doesn't mean that I'm always right. Joe, I know, would take that trade. That's a neutral trade zone. And for me, I'll do it if I got the right sentiment. And it looks like we were kind of going from something to something. We were kind of neutral. Nothing is showing up. But why is nothing showing up, Joe? Rather than me saying, I'll let you kind of put your mind behind that. What's going on there?
That's a good question. Usually when that happens, the market is closed, but obviously the market was open. So I no idea. Probably a data issue with.
Oh, no, you're right. No, the market was closed there for a while. That's when the market shuts down for like 30 minutes. It could have been that. I always think sometimes that's an issue with the data related to we're changing in between the neutral zone, but it could have been that. But the fact of the matter is, if it's one of the leaders that we could pull up on an RQ Tech, here's the RQ Tech, and obviously this is going to show me real markets right now: natural gas, bonds, Aussie crude, pound, copper, S&P's about halfway down. If it was green across the board, hey, you know what? This is looking like a good opportunity to buy into it. Place a sell stop. Sell stops, I like to use the opposite channel. That's probably a little too far. And you'd be smarter to tuck it tight underneath the breakout channel. If it comes down and stops you out, it's a very small loss. Wait for the channel to move up into the zone like it did over here. Problem with this up here, guys, is this is the end of the prime time, and you're beyond 50% up into the zone. So not a great example, but check this out. I'm going to go backwards now, and we're going to go put up the euro. Actually, let's do the Canadian. 6C, the Canadian dollar. And yes, you can see the Canadian that just went berserk today. And take a look at what the Canadian was doing. Again, 5-minute chart. Here comes the box. The box is going to be from 8 to 11. I'm using the levels to help me with the top and the bottom, and I'm using the sides are going to be based on time. Now look at the breakout on this baby. Rick, you got the euro, and check this out. This was the Canadian that was breaking out as well, right at the bull zone. You could argue that you actually had an opportunity here if you like take it inside the neutral. I like for those channels to move up into the zone. And man, I remember looking at this today. I started looking at it right about here, and I was so mad. I was really frustrated I missed this one. I was too busy looking at gold and crude and the stocks. Hard to look at all the markets, but I'll tell you what, that was a beautiful trade. You could actually extend that box and put the top of the box all the way to the top. Nothing wrong with that. And as you can see, this market got up by 11 o'clock, halfway up into bull zone 2. And if you had a trailing stop originally underneath both greens, so originally I'd have my stop right here below the bear level. Once I'm closing up above, I'm bringing the stop up here and tucking it right there. And just keeping that stop, keeping that stop, keeping that stop, keeping that stop. And guess what? Don't have to worry about it because you just rang the bell. Guys, that's a 73.65 entry, hypothetical entry, 73.65. The Canadian is $10 a point. This went to 73.97. This is about a $320 trade from on a full contract from beginning to end. Roughly $320 right there. And I think it's a 10 for 1 on the micros, so that would be $30 per micro. Any questions on that? That is the box strategy.
Yeah, EP, I'd like to mention something that Dennis loves to do. And you see where you got where the entry right above the bull line. You can also pyramid. You can also add a position when it goes into zone 2.
Say that one more time. Say it again.
Where you have the entry?
Yeah.
You can also add a position, what we call pyramiding.
Yep.
on the entry into zone right there. One back. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, gotcha. Very much so.
So,
Yep,
yeah.
like that. You said Dennis likes to do that, huh?
Yeah. That's what Dennis made a ton of money, right, Dennis?
Dennis likes the pyramids. Hangs out in Egypt. All right, cool. All right, well, listen, that's all I have from my side. Joe, if you want to show anything, I'll let you take the wheel, and then I'll just do some promotional chit chat at the very end. Good by you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, I will find you here and make you the presenter. Assuming that this is you. Got a pop up?
All right, everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me show you real quick. Now, this is the same indicators that EP uses for day trading every morning. I'm using it for stocks, for swing trading, building positions, but it's the same tools. So here on my left, oh, I see my drawing tools is not working. Anyway, on the left, that architect, that's the brain behind it. This is how what I'm doing in picking the stocks is that I'm looking for relative strength. I'm looking for a market that's outperforming the broad market. That's one of the criteria. There's different criteria, but that's one of the metrics. So if you look here at the daily chart, this is the spiders. You can see the top blue channel, the bottom blue channel, and you can see it's still range bound, and it's stuck in the upper part, but still it's in the range. It's not broken out. The Nasdaq did break out. Let me show you the Nasdaq real quick. Data is a little slow this evening. Here you go. So here is the Nasdaq broke out. All right, so I'll just go ahead and show you some of the positions we have. One of them did very, very good today, which is, where are you? D-Dog. And you can see this actually broke out today, but it's a big move. Look at it on the 240-minute chart. Breakout, if I would have the color, navigator color here, you would see that blue right here after that blue line. I just don't have it installed in here, but that's where you would see that breakout, and it went all the way to second resistance. Beautiful trade. That we paid a week and a half ago. We paid, what did we pay? We paid 85 and change, and it closed at 97 and change today. That's a nice move.
That is a nice move.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have now let's look at this move. You can tell that, I mean, if you just put up a chart of the Qs, you'll see that this is way outperforming. We added a position yesterday, which is the trade desk. And yesterday we bought it for 460 and change. And this was knocking at the door of a breakout, but it didn't break out. But it closed at 164. That's 4 points higher. And this is what it looks like. This actually broke out last week. This is when I was running the room in the morning, and it happened in the morning, so I couldn't catch it. So I've been waiting for another opportunity. So I waited for this little pullback with the retracement marker and bought it in anticipation of a breakout. It's a good chance it will tomorrow. I also own gold through the GLD, which is the ETF. And this did break out as well. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there's the breakout. What did I pay? I bought this last week at 166 and change. When I say change, 166.16, and it closed at 170. That's a pretty decent move. And I bought it on this little breakout right here. Then it failed the next day, next couple days. Then it started to run. I had a loser that I closed, PFSI. I'll show you they're not all winners. And this was a similar strategy in anticipation of a breakout. I think it was back in, I think it was last week. It was somewhere in here, and it failed. I think it was right here. And it's now crossing the bottom channel. That was my exit. And I took these, this was a very small position, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
What stock is that, Joe?
This
PFSI?
was,
What is
I'm
it?
sorry?
What is that? What is PFSI?
Penny Mac
Ah,
Finance.
okay, got it.
Okay. And didn't really care for the sector, and that's why it's a very small position. On the first one I showed you, we have half a position.
Joe, do you pyramid? Dennis is asking too. Do you pyramid your stock
Yes.
like you do futures?
Yes. In fact, the first one I showed you is half of a position. This one here was a quarter of a position, and I'm supposed to be adding on a breakout and or if the market breaks out, right? So the market hasn't really broken out, and to be honest with you, I would have loved to have added my second position in DDoc, but it happened relatively quick.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to notice, it had gotten away.
What's that? Look at that breakout right
DDoc.
there. D-Dog. D-Dog.
Yeah.
That is the
D-Dog.
dog.
Yeah,
that is
D-Dog.
the dog. Hair in the. Oh, hey, Joe, check this out. Pull up copper real quick. Sorry to deviate, but I got.
I don't have data for futures. I can't run them at the same time.
Can I show something real quick then?
Yeah.
I know there's some guys
Sure,
out there
sure.
that might appreciate this, and then we can fire right back over to you.
Anyways, those are the only positions.
Okay, cool. Let me just find my screen. So, guys, I just put a live trade on here, and I just got to be able to take back the controls from Joe, which I'm going to do, change presenter to me. Okay, so check this out. This is copper. And here we are talking about box trades. Joe, you can see my screen, yeah? You good?
Yeah.
Okay, so take a look at copper right now. I'm going to put some logic together. I was talking about it. So, here Joe and I have been talking the talk. Now we're going to walk the walk. So fundamentals, technicals, right? Quant traders, the technicals, we got the algorithm built into the indicators. We can have these levels adjust every 24 hours. Let me put them all up on the screen here. There they are. I'm going to squeeze this down. Okay, every 24 hours, see how the levels adjust? No matter what market it is, any market on the planet with a heartbeat. Okay, volume and volatility are key. You need those things to push. Okay, and take a look here. I've been talking about the box trade. Here I am on a 5-minute. This is copper. Look at the RQ Tech. We talked about this earlier. Right now, the strongest markets out there, gas, copper, and what is copper across the board? Green. The 1 hour, the 3 hour, the 8 hour. Green across the board. So that's the second strongest market right now in this session. And we have an APAC session. And that session I like to trade is right here at 8 o'clock. So 8 until 11. So there's the box. Well, actually, here's the box. The top with the level, the bottom with that level, and time. Now, guys, if you get everything that Joe and I have talked about this hour and understand why I put that trade on based off of the logic that is here before you. What's the logic? Technical, you got the indicators. Fundamental, sentiment. Now, the sentiment's not my core friend right now. However, a lot of people will tell you that copper tends to follow the S&P. In fact, a lot of times it leads the S&P. So is the sentiment in my favor right now? No, I'm not going to give it credit for that, but I certainly am going to give it credit being a trend following trade and buying in the bull zone 2. It's the second largest leader. RQ Tech is green across the board. Location, it's high. I'm buying high. Middle of the second zone, no credit there. And volume, I just took a look to see if there was a report coming out get something started here. There's nothing that I could find. And as far as volume, yeah, we're in the middle of this Asian session, so really nothing there. So this is a medium probability trade. Okay, and look at the two channels coming together, and look at the color change from yellow to blue. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity to put everything together that we've been talking about. And here's a live one, and I thought it'd be fun to put this one on for you. So two things I have to do. I got to place a protective stop and a profit target. I'm going to put the profit target up at the top. Yes, I could let that run through the night if I wanted to. And I'm going to place a protective stop down below. Got a couple options. I can go right underneath the breakout. That would be extremely conservative, extremely tight. Middle of the road, right below the opposite channel. And the higher risk, and it just depends on what kind of reward opportunity we're talking about, would be to tuck it below a level. Now, that would be worse than a 1-for-1 in terms of risk to reward, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it right here underneath that level. So it's about a 1-for-1, a little bit more than that. But anyways, I thought that'd be good to show everybody. Joe, your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, and probably in about another 10 minutes, that bottom channel is going to move up it's going to move up quite a bit.
The bottom channel, okay. So you're saying that in about within the next hour or so, we're going to start to see this?
Not there. It'll go. You see where the 3 prior yellows are? There's the 5s.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay, give me a second.
The prior 3 candles from the breakout.
Prior 3 candles. So
yeah, the low of that candle.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying like this.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Because what it'll do is it follows the lows. You see how the lows are being followed?
Yep. I love it. I love listening to Joe interpret. It's almost like he sees the market. You're like the Oracle dude. I love it. You can see things that we can't see in the Matrix. Pretty damn cool. All right. Well, listen, we're at the top of the hour, actually a little bit over. Thoroughly appreciate everybody coming in. Rick, thank you so much for sharing your trades. Very, very cool. Nolan, I know you're going to get this recording. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman for sending those trades. Everybody else, come on. I want to get some new traders in next week sharing your trades with us. Send them to me. Send them to any one of these emails or send them to me directly, eptradecoach@gmail.com. Let's go back before we go to that one. So here's the scoop, guys. Any questions you have for us for support, send those to support@Rios Quant. Any questions about numbers with regards to purchasing a box of indicators, purchasing access to the room, purchasing some education, reach out to Tim. Tim handles all that for us. And tell a friend about the room. Send them over to thetradingroom.com, get them a 5-day pass free on you. It's probably the best thing you could do for them, especially for a lot of people struggling to figure out what to do now. Do I put more money in the stock market? Do I start taking some out? Do I just let it ride? What about alternative investing? What are some other things that I can do, that I can understand, that I can grab onto and put some logic behind, and something that's been around for quite a while? Those of you guys that have followed us, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, 1997 is when Joe started the room, and I joined forces with him somewhere around 2003. So been doing this for quite a long time. Love what we do. It's very rewarding when we hear guys like Rick come on the air and talk about how he's kicking ass. So Coach's Creed, that's what it's all about, guys. If you believe in yourself, believe in what you've seen today, want to take a shot, tell you what, very affordable, in terms of a lot of the other stuff that's out there, and got lots of time to soak it up. The trade room's open for a couple hours every day. We do these workshops every Wednesday, and then we got lots of videos, archives of videos for you guys to watch. And so if you want to be a fly on the wall, come in and trade along with us. Learn through the Trade Lab in the mornings. That's the Trade Lab far left. And if you want all the indicators and start playing this for your own personal trading, that would be the RQ 2020 package. Still going with the same promo. I'm throwing in 1 month free Trade Lab with a RQ 2020 purchase or a coaching session. The choice is yours. Take advantage of it. Free coaching session or a free month of the Trade Lab. For those members that just want to kind of do like an a la carte, you don't have the Turbo Scalp yet, you don't have the OBOS indicator yet, you could buy those individually and you can see the prices there. So again, if you're on the edge of your seat and waiting, wanting, what the heck are you waiting for? You want to talk to any of us individually, reach out to Tim, reach out to me, reach out to Joe. We're more than happy to have a conversation and kind of listen to where you've been and where you're trying to go. And for those of you that know me, I kind of tell it like it is. I'll probably walk you off the cliff and walk you away if I don't hear it in your heart and, just don't think that you have it. A lot of people have kind of been beat up and are just not non-believers. And if you're one of those, and you're going to struggle no matter what you try to do in the trading world. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of bad cookies out there, a lot of bad guys that have beat people up and lied, stolen, and cheated people out of their money. It sucks. I used to be a broker back in the day. The good guys finish first. The good guys finish last, and the bad guys finish first but end up in jail. So Joe and I are not in jail. We're here helping you guys out. So I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that we've talked about tonight. Again, there's the contact information. At this point, Joe, I'll let you have the last say, and then we'll head on out, and we'll be back here in about 12 hours.
Oh, it's all good. Everything's been covered. Thank you very much for another excellent job at a workshop. And thanks for Rick and Nolan to participate. We encourage you to do so next week to all our other members.
Good. All right, my man. Well, listen, you have yourself a good evening. Thanks, traders, for coming in. And we'll see you guys all back here tomorrow morning in the Trade Lab. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks, guys.